Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang glide, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sleep like a lot.
After the events of Boruto Chapter 68, the character of Kawaki's been someone whose powers begun to rapidly start reaching that potential that so many of us expected him to be able to possess from the moment we learned in Boruto Chapter 1 that Kawaki has seemingly betrayed Naruto. And now that we have context, we can all agree that this is probably going to go down as one of the biggest anime betrayals of all time that seemingly came out of nowhere, just like how Raid Shadow Legends came out of nowhere and took the gaming scene by storm 3 years ago. Each and every year, Raid Shadow Legends gets bigger and better. With Raid Shadow Legends, you have a variety of characters at your disposal, but for me, my top three are Elheim and Sniper because they're long distance fighters, and then you got War Priest, who is an utter badass if you know how to use her right. As a fan of turn-based RPGs, what I love about Raid Shadow Legends is the strategy element of using your characters in battle, in particular setting up combo attacks and thinking a few steps ahead to take down that challenging floor boss that you're fighting. This month, for its 3rd anniversary, Raid Shadow Legends is giving away free gifts to everyone, then adding new content and events. You're getting new champions, artifact sets, and a fully personalized video showcasing every player's raid journey and their achievements. On top of that, you're getting special gifts in tournaments like prizes, like new badass champions, tons of shards, and a lot of good goodies you don't want to miss out on. There's seriously never been a better time to get started. If you use my link or scan the QR code on the screen right now, new players will get a free starter pack worth almost $40 to kickstart your game. We're talking free champions like Masiri, Tiger Soul, and Ramiro, 10 Magic XP Brew, 10 Force XP Brew, 10 Spirit XP Brew, and since it's Raid's birthday, the gifts keep on coming. All new and existing players can get a bunch of free gifts worth over $25. Once you're in the game, just enter the promo code 3YearsRaid to get your hands on everything. With that being said, let's get back into today's video. At the time, everyone asked, how could someone like Kawaki take down Naruto? Someone who back in 2016, at least to our knowledge at that time, was the strongest shinobi on the planet, and he possessed chakra from all 9 Biju and was just shown using 6-pass chakra mode in the Boruto movie a few months prior in 2015, before Boruto Chapter 1 released. The idea of Kawaki being powerful enough to potentially kill or defeat Naruto, it left everyone stunned back then. However, 6 years later, that distant future doesn't seem like it's an unexplained stretch anymore. Kawaki has already been confirmed in the last manga chapter to be the strongest person inside of Konoha, so powerful that nobody inside the village could ever hope to stand up against him, not even Naruto himself, which is wild to think that Naruto's own student has surpassed him in power. However, for as hard of a pill as that is for some people to swallow, it makes sense now that we have full context about Kawaki as a character, and I hope to explain that to you now in this video. So, when Kawaki was implanted with the karma by Amato and then told by Code that the way that he and Boruto were using karma up to that point in the story was incorrect, it signaled a true shift in the balance of power in the Naruto world. According to Code, the true essence and power of karma is being able to draw on the full power and experience of the Otsutsuki who gave you the karma, which in the case of Code, as well as Kawaki, was the strongest Otsutsuki who Naruto had ever faced, Isshiki Otsutsuki. We briefly saw what true essence of Isshiki's karma could do when Jigen fought Naruto and Sasuke. Jigen possessed the raw power to destroy a perfect Susanoo and a kyuubi avatar made by 6-pass chakra mode Naruto with only a single hit. He was strong enough that he left Naruto and Sasuke near death after an extended battle, where he later revealed later on that he was playing around during that fight, which caused his body to break down because he didn't end the fight as soon as he could. However, there are 4 things that need to be taken into account as we begin to measure Kawaki's power. Number 1, Kawaki is a perfect vessel, whereas Jigen was an imperfect vessel who couldn't properly contain all Isshiki's chakra, and this is absolutely huge. Kawaki's body is better suited to house Isshiki's power without any physical drawbacks, which makes Kawaki, even using potentially 80% of Isshiki's power, that much scarier when you consider the fact that Kawaki's body won't be breaking down the longer a fight goes on. Number 2, Jigen, when he fought Naruto and Sasuke, was also amped up on kyuubi chakra, which means that there can be argued to be a substantial chakra boost to the Jigen who fought Naruto and Sasuke. When ninja use chakra, it isn't just for their ninjutsu, but it's also oftentimes used to boost the physical stats of a person, from their speed in the case of the 4th Raikage to their strength in the case of Tsunade and Sakura, as well as their stamina. For someone like Jigen, who doesn't use traditional ninjutsu and only uses the visual dojutsu of Isshiki, this more or less means that he was using over 90% or higher of his chakra levels to amp up his stats. This also means that when he juiced up on kyuubi chakra, that enormous amount of chakra powered up his physical stats because it came from the Ten Tails, which could be used to explain why he destroyed Naruto and Sasuke with his physical attacks, on top of the Karma Seal and the dojutsu powers of Isshiki being hard counters to Naruto and Sasuke. Before he went to take Kawaki, Jigen went to prepare himself for the eventual scenario where he would have to fight Naruto, which would add why he took that extra precaution, because Jigen knew that Naruto still had 6-pass chakra mode at his disposal. The reason why this matters is that Jigen's body was 100% Otsutsuki at that point, but he couldn't contain the power according to Isshiki. This opens up the door for 100% of Ishiki's power being used by Jigen to have a cap on it in terms of what a vessel can use, which opens up the door for this third point, which is there's evidence to support that a vessel can only pump out so much of an Otsutsuki's power even after they hit 100%. Kawaki might be 80% Otsutsuki, but that doesn't mean he's pulling from 80% of Ishiki's power, though that is possible. It just potentially means that he's 80% Otsutsuki on genetic level, and there's evidence that supports this idea. Jigen was 100% Otsutsuki. He was juiced up on kyuubi chakra, and yet the first thing that came out of Naruto's mouth after being struck by Isshiki while they fought inside of Konoha was that Isshiki was even stronger than before, which kind of makes me believe that Otsutsuki place limiters on their vessels in terms of how much power they can wield. They can use their abilities, they can use their skills, but they can only draw on a certain percentage of their power even after their body is hit to 100% Otsutsuki on genetic level. So you have Jigen before he absorbed the Ten Tails chakra, then you have Jigen who has Ten Tails chakra, and then you have Isshiki. There's clear power escalations here, which brings us to the fourth point. Kawaki's body having access to use Ishiki's power via the true essence of karma, whatever percentage it is that he's able to draw on at a maximum, combined with Kawaki being able to use Ishiki's Hack's Dojutsu, the Sukuna Hikona, which allows him to shrink objects as well as himself in chakra attacks, and the Daikokuten, which allows Kawaki to summon other objects from different dimensions faster than even 6-pass levels of sensory skills can actually track it. It makes Kawaki a monster with hacks abilities that are very hard to counter. On top of that, he's been taught ninjutsu by Naruto, who at the time as Kawaki's teacher was the strongest shinobi on the planet before he lost the Nine Tails. Jigen never used ninjutsu in the traditional manner. All of his chakra was basically devoted towards amping up his stats, which makes Kawaki being able to perform ninjutsu that much deadlier. Then you add on the ninja tech inside of his body, which allows him to create weapons, it allows him to self-heal, and you have someone who's a very real problem for the shinobi world. Naruto's intention was pure. He wanted to teach Kawaki to use chakra and try teaching him the ways of ninjutsu, but Kawaki's on the path to making the same mistake as the ones who Hagoromo taught ninjutsu to. Eventually, his teachings were perverted and ninjutsu transformed into ninjutsu that was meant to harm others. Naruto broke the cycle of hatred between the reincarnates, but still somehow managed to repeat the cycle of ninjutsu teachings, transforming from ninjutsu being something meant to connect other people to ninjutsu being used to harm people via his student Kawaki taking this path. It's not cap right now to say that Kawaki is on pace to be the strongest character in the verse for quite a while. Now, if this video hits 1,000 likes, I'll reach out to my good friend King Bullet and see if we can't get a collab done in detail to break down not only how broken Kawaki currently is, but also dig a lot deeper into his potential, with Bullet bringing a lot of that scaling information and feats that a lot of you guys are going to want to hear, like we did in the video a few months back about has Boruto surpassed Naruto in conversations that have not made their way onto YouTube. We briefly touched on Kawaki's potential, and there's a lot there. So if you want that video, hit the like button, and I'll reach out to my buddy and see if we can get that video done, whether it be on my channel or his channel. But so always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.